Welcome back to a new spoiler review here on Max Talk Toys. We're breaking down episode 5, Time and Again of Miss Marvel. The episode, sorry, is called Time and Again. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. If you're new to the channel, I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, movie rankings, and box office breakdown show I do every single Monday. So please subscribe, ring that bell if you're new to the channel. Comment down below. Tell me, did this get you back on track for Miss Marvel? Have you been on the track the entire time? It's your favorite, least favorite episode? And what's your bold prediction for the finale episode of Ms. Marvel? And also please like the video, guys, the thumbs up video. That's how you support this channel. So let's get, as I said, I like just getting right into it. So this episode was Time and Again, and this is the shortest episode of the series. The shortest up to this point was 45 minutes. That's with credits. The episodes have been 45 to 49 minutes has been the longest episode. This episode was 38 minutes with credits. So pretty much with the credits, like a 30-minute episode. As I was shocked about, because we're heading down the home stretch of the show. Again, as I said, this is the penultimate or second to last episode of the season. So I had really liked the first two episodes. Like I was completely on board with the beginning of this show and was disappointed to see how people just were not checking this one out. The least watched MCU show. I didn't even have that much anticipation for it. But I was pleasantly surprised with what happened in the first couple of episodes. The first two episodes, I really liked the first episode. I think I loved the second episode. I've already done breakdowns of each episode individually already on the channel, so please go follow that. But if you're also new, you knew that I really was not a fan of episode 3, and even not a fan of episode 4. I just have not liked the last 2 weeks of the show. The good news is that I do believe that this is a better episode than the last 2 weeks, but I still just don't think this is a great episode. This episode has plenty of problems in it, but I did have a lot more fun, and I think the actual story was a lot stronger in this episode than the last two. And I think, sadly, I think the best part of the show this week was when Kamala and the main story was not on screen, because this is basically, let's just say it's a 40-minute episode. Let's just say it's like a 30-minute episode. Let's say 15 minutes of the episode, or 15 to 20 minutes of the episode, was this flashback scene to 1942 with Kamala's great-great-grandmother, Aisha, who hopefully I'm saying her name right, Mawish Hayat, who is, we see basically that it's basically, as a lot of people are joking, that it's been Kamala all along, to like Agatha, but Kamala is the one who saved her grandmother. And that's how she got saved in the first place. So we get this whole flashback scene getting introduced to Aisha, how she got married, how she had the grandmother nanny, Kamala's nanny, and the relationship between Aisha and Najma. I love this aspect of the episode. I thought that they did a really good job. I think Aisha, for me, is one of my favorite top 2 for me characters in the entire show. Just on this, even if not just this episode, just a really fascinating character who sacrificed a lot. She was supposed to go back to her home world, but she kept the bangle to be normal, raise a family, have a kid. And her just wanting to be normal kind of cost her at the end, but she let the bangle live on. Her sacrifice meant a lot, and I think the emotion resonance, the satisfying emotion you got from this episode was the best of the season. With as they are caught in between, Aisha's basically got stabbed by Najma in the train sequence that we begun last week. Then Nani is lost. Sana is lost from her father. And this is where Kamala comes in, and she is the one who actually gets the picture from Aisha and then leads Sana to her father. So basically Kamala is the one who saved Sana in this whole situation. And the emotional satisfaction of seeing Kamala hand that family picture of the 3 of them to Sana now as a older woman, and finally really seeing her parents for the first time. That really worked in this episode, and I way preferred the first half of this episode to the second half of the episode. It felt like it was authentic. It felt almost, sad if you're not, especially like me, who just isn't familiar with what happened with the British invasion of India in the 40s. If you're not familiar with it, or even if you are familiar with it, it's still sad to see what people are even still going through today. But it's in this specific situation, what people were going through with this British invasion of India. I love the family. This family, as you see behind me, great family, great chemistry. Everyone's kind of on an emotional high with not knowing if they can stay, just be normal, just live out their lives. This also then leads to a really, again, emotionally satisfying scene at the end of the episode with the 3 generations after Aisha, with Sana, Kamala, and Kamala's mom. That was a really great scene of the 3 of them together. Now, what did not work in this episode, once again, was Najma and the villains, and just they're not explaining anything that's going on. The only thing they basically explain is that Najma's group lives in a different world, and the Bengal can help reopen the veil. The veil gets reopened, and then without explanation, the character Fariha she dies trying to get into the veil. And Najma's kind of like, I'm gonna go back. And Kamala's like, you left Kamran behind. Don't do that again to someone like Sana. And this is where Najma just says Kamran, goes in, she's dead because we see her, I guess she's dead. We see her skeleton, and then Kamran gets powers. Just very confusing. And if this is someone who actually knows a lot of the comics, again, because they're not Inhumans here in the TV show like they were in the comics, they're doing a complete reshuffle of these origin stories. And both Kamala and Kamran were both Inhumans. And that's obviously not what direction they have gone into. The Red Dagger relationship just didn't go anywhere. Kamala just thanks the Red Dagger, and then they're like, oh, cool, see ya. Here's my red, handkerchief, and I'll see ya. It was just a missed opportunity with this Kamala Red Dagger. And I don't want it to be a romance. I think it's just great duo superhero friendship that they could have done. Didn't really happen. And we end the episode with Bruno and Kamran together. Finally helping out. Kamran needs some help. And this is when the DODC come in. Kamran finally uses his powers and he's like, we gotta go. So we end this episode. I just don't feel like we're at so much momentum building to a finale. Normally even with the shows I don't love in the MCU, I at least have been pumped about the finale just a little bit. And I just feel so meh about leading into this finale because I just love the first 2 episodes of the series. Exactly what I wanted it to be. And then it went to a pretty confusing now last 3 weeks of the show, where no one's powers are really explained that much. Again, what's a shame about this show is that these are a great group of characters. Kamala's family is awesome. Bruno's great. I think Kamran's really interesting. And Kamala herself, Aman Vellani, is again fantastic in the show, and I can't wait to see what she does with the Marvels, especially because Nia DaCosta is directing that film, which I think will help her a lot. But it just hasn't felt like we've set her up yet, even close to be just joining Captain Marvel in another movie. We just have not gotten to that point. So far, this honestly could be my least favorite show so far. I don't like to say that. I'm not going to say my official ranking of it until I'm done watching the show and the finale, if it's a very satisfying finale. But I went from being pleasantly surprised to then being frustrated the last 3 weeks. So it's a weird feeling to have because I just love the characters. I love most of the cast. These villains, as I said last week, are just hard to watch. Every time Najma's on screen, I do feel like that the show just goes down a notch just because they're just very unwatchable villains who don't feel like any threat. But again, the 3 generations of Kamala's family, all their scenes together are great. And hopefully we get a big epic, not even epic, just a really good finale that leaves us wanting more. So that's my thoughts on Ms. Marvel episode 5. Like the video, subscribe. Another MC review is coming tomorrow. That'll be Thor: Love and Thunder, a non-spoiler review. Could do a spoiler review, depends on what spoilers there are to do with the movie, but at least for sure a non-spoiler review of Thor: Love and Thunder tomorrow. I'll see you guys soon.